All right, hi everyone. This is Nolan with BestFit, and today I just wanted to walk you guys through a few tutorials on how to use the new version of BestFit. So starting off, if you wanted to start from scratch and create a student and start creating their lesson plans by uploading images from your curriculum, all you're going to do is go to your edit students and add new students. I'm going to call this one Nolan. And then you can select what subjects they're going to be studying. We're going to do math, science, English, history, and geography. Let's create the student. Perfect. So now they've been added to my account. And all I'm going to do is go to lesson planning, this lesson planning tab. Here I can see some of my past lesson plans that I've built. Each one of these just takes a few minutes. And I'm going to go to generate lesson plan. You can create them by hand by selecting a student, a subject, giving it a name and adding students one by one, or adding lessons one by one rather. But today we're going to go to the generate lesson plan tab right here. And I can go ahead and upload some images. I'm actually going to use some of the images from one of our beta tests. So this is a geography curriculum. It has 8 images. It's basically a scope and sequence, chapters 1 through 13. I'm going to select the student that I want to add these lessons for, as well as the correct subject. And then I'm going to name it Nolan's Geography Lessons 2025. I'm not going to give any special instructions. I'm going to test the system here. I'm just giving it these images, and I'm going to hit generate schedule. So now what it's doing is it's going to upload, and then what is going to happen is that the AI system is going to take a look at these images and determine if it has enough information to go ahead and create all of those lessons accurately. There's a lot of ways that it can do it incorrectly, and so it's going to be a little bit cautious here. Take a look at it, and same way a human would ask you some questions. Okay, how do you want to actually split up these lessons? And so in those images, there were a few different rows here. I can just open those up for you so that we can take a look at them. So as you can see, here's the lesson plan overview. And there's 2 columns here. There's a days column and there's a lessons column. And it could just sort of assume that you want it to be lessons. But for example, some lessons have multiple days. And so if you're scheduling things every day, it might be more useful for you to go with the days column and have, for example, instead of this be lesson 3, it can be lesson 3 and lesson 4, according to how many days it should take. So let's, oops, sorry about that. So let's take a look at this. So do you want me to treat each row's lesson number in the overview as one distinct lesson? I'm going to say no. I want you to schedule lessons by the days column. Perfect. And then when a single lesson row lists multiple activities, for example, activity 1, activity 2, a chapter review, should those be split into separate lessons or kept together? You can have multiple activities in a single lesson. That's okay. Just split them up by the days. And then should chapter review and test rows be treated as separate lessons? So again, if I go back here, you can see that review and test are on its own row. So it's basically just asking how I want to handle that. Do I want to do a review and a test? So I'm going to do a review on one day and then a test on the following day. Sorry about that. Um, but now it is generating lesson plan. So it's past its analysis. It has a high confidence on what you want the lessons to be like, and so now it's just going to go through and create each of these lessons. So we'll speed up through this process. It should take about a minute or two. All right, and just like that, it just took a little over 2 minutes, and everything is done now. So we have 94 lessons, which is perfectly in line with our curriculum. We had 94 days to plan out. Ends on the final chapter with the review and test. And yeah, so everything looks good. And so now in the next video, we're going to talk about how we can automatically schedule everything out if we want. We can schedule out just a week if you'd like. And then there's a few other features for scheduling one lesson at a time if you want to be a little bit more free day to day to go ahead or stay behind, whatever you'd like. So we'll get into that in the next video. Thank you for watching.